You all listen very well. Well, good evening. On behalf of the Alumni Board and President Patricia Draves, welcome to the 2024 Alumni Impact Awards. Thank you for coming home and to help us celebrate the accomplishments of Monmouth College and her alumni. I'm Hannah Maher, Vice President for Development and College Relations, and it's my privilege to begin tonight's program. Before we get to the award presentations this evening, we'd like to recognize some of our special guests who are in attendance. First, I'd like to recognize the true visionaries of the institution, your Monmouth College Board of Trustees, whose servant leadership and support make our college vibrant and prosperous, ensuring Monmouth's future for many years to come. Trustees in attendance, would you please stand? I would also like to recognize our Alumni Board. The Alumni Board are our true eyes and ears of our Alumni Association. The board has undertaken many initiatives over the past few years, and they will be around all weekend to make your homecoming very enjoyable. Alumni Board members in attendance, please stand. Our Emeriti faculty and staff, in addition to our current faculty and staff, continue to leave a lasting impact on the college. Because of their commitment to education and the success of each and every student, I'd like to recognize them this evening as well. Would all Emeriti and current faculty and staff please stand and be recognized? A weekend like this does not come together overnight. The good work and support of the entire campus community is involved, but let me acknowledge a few folks. Our food service and catering team, Aramark, our facilities and custodial staff, our partners in the communication office, who you will more fully notice on campus as paparazzi this weekend. Assistant Director of Campus Events, Meredith McGarry, who arranges many events such as the Homecoming Parade and ensures much of our AV technology is handled, and certainly the entire staff within the Department of Development and College Relations who orchestrated so very much of this weekend. Will you please join me in showing your appreciation to all of these individuals? I want to take the opportunity to invite you to join us for two other awards and recognition ceremonies happening over the course of the weekend. Tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m., 3 impressive Fighting Scots will be inducted into the M Club Hall of Fame. For soccer, Samantha Barranco, class of 2014. Track and field, Allison DeVore, class of 2013. And for baseball, Bo Hellman, class of 2003. Also tomorrow at 10 a.m., 3 alumni will be inducted into the Order of Omega Fraternity and Sorority Hall of Fame. Kristen Wise Wagner, a member of the class of 2011, as well as an Alpha Z Delta. Ryan Holland, class of 1976, and member of Alpha Tau Omega. And Andy Kerr, 1973 graduate of Zeta Beta Tau. We honor these 3 recipients for their service to their fraternities post-baccalaureate. We hope you'll join us tomorrow for the official induction ceremonies as we recognize all of these outstanding alumni. Now I'd like to welcome to the podium Mr. Mark Tepper, class of 1994 and president of the Monmouth College Alumni Board, to help us kick off our award presentations.
How about that inauguration? Our next portion of the program this evening is to recognize our outstanding alumni for their accomplishments outside of the hallways of Monmouth College. The first 5 recipients we are honoring tonight were nominated by the members of the Alumni Association and voted on by our Alumni Board. Each year, the Alumni Board receives several quality nominations and has a very difficult time choosing the award winners. I want to thank the board for their diligence in making these tough decisions, and tonight's award winners can be especially proud to have been chosen from such a competitive list of nominations. The Alumni Board is responsible for making the final selection of our first 5 awards this evening: Family of the Year, Young Alumnus Award, Distinguished Service Award, Distinguished Alumnus Award, and the Hatch Award for Distinguished Teaching. At this time, I'd like to ask Hannah to return to the podium to introduce tonight's award winners.
Earlier this year, there was a big celebration downtown marking 100 years in business for Kellogg Printing. The college took special interest in that event as Kellogg Printing is one of our key business partners. We've had a strong relationship with the company going back to the 1950s. But when it comes to the extended Kellogg family in Monmouth College, the connection goes back even further than a century with a student who enrolled 124 years ago. Representing the family at the podium tonight is Jane Marshall Kellogg, a 1972 graduate. I don't want to steal too much of Jane's thunder, but that original family member to attend in 1900 was her grandfather, Bert Marshall. Among other relatives, both of Jane's parents and one of her children also graduated from Monmouth, so it's a very impressive family tree, which also includes the Peters and Whitty's family. And their impact on the college has been felt by many, by athletes over the span of several decades who were tended to by Doc Marshall, by sorority members who visited the home of Doc's wife, Isabel Marshall, who hosted those visits for more than half a century, by students and faculty, and especially members of our senior staff who benefited from the quarter century of service by Board of Trustees member Jean Peters Whitty, and by anyone who's held in their hands a commencement or honors convocation program printed right here in town by Jane's husband, Buzz. I wouldn't be standing in front of you today if not for another member of the family, Lucy Kellogg Thompson, part of my interview team, who gave a young woman a chance in higher ed 14 years ago. And their legacy continues with recent 2021 graduate Thomas Whitty and his wife, Elizabeth Gustafson Whitty, class of 2022. I could go on and on with their significant contributions to our campus community, but I'll stop here. But not without conveying a heartfelt thank you to members of the Marshall, Kellogg, Peters, and Whitty's families for everything you've meant to the college for more than 100 years. Please join me in welcoming Jane Marshall Kellogg to receive our Family of the Year honor.
Well, I'm happy to represent our family and tell our family story, but I do want to answer one question that's come up, which is, well, normally the Family of the Year has one name, and we have 4, Marshall, Kellogg, Peters, Whitty, and we could add Thompson to that. And so I think it's because the question is, are you all related? And we are. We're all related. And I think it's because we have a 124-year history at the college that we have all those names. Our family story with Monmouth College begins with Bert Marshall attending for 3 years starting in 1900. Bert, who was a great baseball player and 3-sport athlete, then had to drop out to support the family. 120 years later, Thomas Whitty, class of 2021, our second most recent grad, also earned a varsity letter in baseball. Bert's son and my dad, Dr. James Marshall, came to Monmouth, where he met his future wife, Isabel Bickett, and they both graduated in the class of 1936. 3 of Jim and Isabel's children came to Monmouth. Myself, John Marshall, who attended for a year in 1965 until the Army decided that they needed him, and Carabelle Cresswell Peters, now deceased. While a freshman at Monmouth, Carabelle joined her sweetheart, Richard Peters, class of 1958, here on campus. They married a year later and lived a wonderful life until her passing in 1985. Dr. Jean Peters Whitty, 1988, and Lucy Kellogg Thompson, 1999, granddaughters of the Marshalls, also attended, as did Thomas Whitty, 2021, their great-grandson. All in all, that's 5 generations of our family who have sung that line from A Flame of White and Crimson that we heard this afternoon that goes, 1,000 hearts devotion to the school we love so well. Here are just a few family facts. We have members of 2 sororities, 2 fraternities among us, In fact, Isabel hosted the Alpha Zeta Delta girls in their home several times a year for 63 years. And presently, Lucy hosts the Kappa girls in their home each year, at least a couple of times. Dr. Marshall was the college physician for 4 decades, and Lucy Thompson worked in the Admission and Development Office for 13 years. Jim was very honored to be inducted into the M Club Hall of Fame for his assistance and care of many athletes through the years. Both Jim Marshall and Jean Peters Whitty served as MC trustees, and Jean still does. 3 have married their Monmouth College sweethearts, Jim and Isabel, Richard and Carabelle, and recently Thomas married Elizabeth Gustafson Whitty, the class of 2022. 2 of our family have received the prestigious Lincoln Laureate Award, Jean Peters Whitty and Elizabeth Gustafson Whitty. We've majored in 8 disciplines, played in 7 sports, sung in numerous choirs, and been in various theater productions and clubs. We are also proud to have given back to the college by establishing the Marshall Peters Scholarship, Science Scholarship, which financially benefits several students each year. I want to acknowledge the rest of our family for their support of the college as well. My husband, Bus, has printed the commencement programs and diplomas for many decades and is a familiar figure on campus. There are 14 of us here today, and I'm going to ask them to stand up. Monmouth College is a huge part of our lives. We have been and always will remain active participants in the life of the college. We sincerely thank Monmouth for this very special honor and would like to close by paraphrasing a quote from Admiral George Anderson. The Marshall, Kellogg, Peters, Whitty family has both a tradition and a future here at Monmouth College, and we look at with pride and confidence in both directions. Thank you. Okay, come on.
She's the boss. Let's go.
How about one more round of applause for the family? Well, my name is Zach Edmonds. I'm the Director of Alumni Engagement here at Monmouth College, 2008 graduate, and also a past recipient of the Young Alumnus Award. But first off, I want to just note, I don't run into too many other ZAK spellings. It's very rare. We're kind of a dime a dozen in the world. So, Lauren, I'm very impressed by your maiden name with the ZAK. And let me assure everyone in attendance, that is not why they're getting this award. I promise you that. These are the reasons. They've both made their mark as successful educators following their graduation from Monmouth in 2011. Lauren is the head of high school foreign language and social studies at the school district in Calhoun, Colorado. Calhoun is just east of Colorado Springs, where Trevor is a preschool and early childhood special education teacher and site director at Will Rogers Elementary School. It was Will Rogers who said, "Live your life in such a way that you wouldn't be ashamed to sell the family parrot to the town gossip." The Newtons' family parrot would be full of praise. Trevor has devoted his career to students in first grade and younger, building a strong foundation in their lives. He specializes in play-based learning, social emotional studies, and staff leadership and team building within the early childhood education field. Just as Will was known for his use of language, Trevor is a sought-after speaker through his LLC he started, Teach and Direct. One of his speeches was the keynote address at last year's annual conference of the National Association of Education for Young Children. He's also built a social media following with videos and tips for teachers. The Newtons continue to promote Monmouth through their work and their friends, and some of Lauren's recommendations have led to several students matriculating here at Monmouth College. Lauren and Trevor, we're proud to call you both alumni of Monmouth College, and please join me in welcoming this year's recipients of the Young Alumnus Award, Lauren and Trevor.
Thank you. First and foremost, Trevor and I would like to thank the Alumni Board for this most distinguished award and recognition. We sincerely are grateful, appreciative, and honored to receive this award. This recognition means a great deal to us, and we are grateful for the support and encouragement from the board and our fellow alumni. Being part of the vibrant and inspiring Monmouth College community has shaped our life journey in countless ways. We look forward to continuing to contribute and connect with others who share the same passion for our alma mater. We are so excited about what lies ahead in our lives and hope to continue on making our Monmouth College community proud. I am truly honored to receive this award as it underscores the profound impact of my education here at Monmouth. Upon enrollment, I was certain I wanted to pursue a career in education. Over the course of my 4 years here, I discovered not only a deep passion for teaching, but also a commitment to nurturing the next generation. Each day in the classroom, I am grateful for the foundation I received here at Monmouth. I stand apart from many of my colleagues, not just in teaching style, but my understanding of the significance of relationships and constructivist learning. It is heartening to hear students remark on how my educational approach differs from that of other educators. When they do, I proudly attribute my unique perspective to the exceptional education I received here at Monmouth College. I have had the pleasure of working at the same school district since my graduation from Monmouth. I'm proud to say this is my 15th year teaching at Callahan School in Callahan, Colorado. It's a really small, rural community school that truly prides themselves in providing a sense of family for all students. In my school, the name Monmouth College is synonymous with excellence, and I take immense pride in representing the values instilled in me by my professors, seen clearly in Stacy Cordery, Craig Vidian, Mary Kay Johnson, and Amy DeFarias. My Monmouth education has not only prepared me for the field of education, but has also emphasized the importance of engaging respectfully with a diverse range of individuals. Monmouth College exemplifies a vital skill that distinguishes me from my fellow educators, the significance of meaningful and genuine relationships. This focus on authentic connections forms the cornerstone to my educational philosophy and guides my approach to teaching. Once my school heard of this wonderful news of this award, some of my students actually took it upon themselves to share some words about me in hopes that I would share them in my speech. So here's a collection of them. Mrs. Newton helped me push through the hardships in my life, and she made me believe in myself. She helped restore my confidence, and because of that, I finished the year strong and got a qualifying score on my AP US History exam. She was a role model I needed in my life, and she saw me going down a bad path and redirected me. Mrs. Newton is nothing short of inspirational and a loving person. She is one of the kindest, sweetest teachers I've ever met. She's made some of the biggest impacts on my life in one of the most supportive, profound, and positive ways. Not even these words alone could describe how much she has changed my life. Words cannot express the absolute joy I had when I received these heartfelt notes. I feel as though I have built a reputation over the years and students feel like they can confide in me, and they view me as a consistent supporter inside and outside of school. I know I set strict boundaries and have very high expectations, but I always teach with absolute love. And clearly, this is translating to students. I truly had no idea the positive impact I would make on the lives of my students through the years of teaching. I credit all this praise to the overall education I received at Monmouth College. This place helped me develop socially, emotionally, creatively, and professionally. My Monmouth experience has been invaluable, and I'm deeply appreciative to how it has shaped my career. And now for my husband, Trevor.
Our eyes are watching, ears are listening. Good, I like how your bodies are still ready to learn. So Lauren, that was beautiful. It's quite remarkable. I wouldn't be here without her. So, all right, I'm gonna cry. I can't even get it out of my system. So I did ask my own students for a recommendation, and they said, "You're my best teacher." And I felt really great about that. I am their only teacher they've ever had, but that still felt really, really powerful. So to echo Lauren, it is truly humbling to receive this award, and I'm sincerely thankful to the Alumni Board for selecting both Lauren and I. As a senior at Monmouth and a student body president, I vividly recall attending the Alumni Board meeting as a representative of the student body. As a young person about to set forth in life, it was inspiring to be in the presence of so many successful alums and leaders in their field. The alums further left their mark on me were people like Dan Cotter and Mr. Dick Yonke. They pulled me aside and encouraged me to go forth, represent Monmouth in the highest way. And I thought to myself, as I think then, if all these people from Monmouth can succeed, so can we. But I cried at our wedding too. Yeah, I can't do this. I care so much about this, and it just, Ramon and Zach called us. We've been just so grateful and just so appreciative of all of you. When Lauren, they called Lauren first. So they called her and they said, "Hey, we're gonna have, you're gonna be awarded, blah blah blah." And then she called me and talked to me about 10 minutes. And then was like, "Oh, and by the way, you're going to receive an award too." So, thanks, honey. I do appreciate that. But in the 15 years we served as public educators, Lauren and I have often commented how Monmouth College catapulted us to succeed. We felt so far beyond our peers, just equipped with the skills, perseverance, and flexibility in thinking. And for me, it was Professor Scrim's early childhood class that just opened up my love for learning again. I was able to go to the library and read books like Where the Wild Things Are, and it just recaptured my love for reading that I missed as a child. Now, for football and other reasons, those are the people that brought me here. Football, Coach Bell, they brought me here over the past, stop and cut. She practiced really a lot. And I said, "Honey, don't even worry about it, I got it." So, football and Coach Bell, they brought me to Monmouth College. The 4 years I spent on the football team are without question some of my most cherished memories. Through my teammates, I learned how to be a better person, how to persevere, how to push others around me. My coaches truly loved us and taught us how to be better men. They taught us about life through the sport of football. Coach Bell, Coach Braun, Coach Ragone, Coach Pierce, Coach Oley, Coach Mitchell, Bob Foster, my beloved teammates like Wes Levy, Peyton Lumsey, Joe Pilger, Tom Danielson, Kevin Turner, Nathan Parks, showed me the blueprint of how through dedication and an even keel, life's championships can be earned. Personally, I'll always be grateful for my coach, Lyle Pierce. Coach Pierce was my D-line coach for 4 years, as well as my practice and placement coordinator in the education department. While the lessons I learned from him on the football field did allow me to start as a senior, there were countless other moments that taught me about life. Every Saturday after a huge win in April Zorn, he would tell us, "Don't sacrifice what you want most for what you want in the moment," which is a lesson I still pass on to my students today. As a loving husband, passionate coach, and caring educator, his mentorship showed me how my role as a teacher can profoundly impact the lives of my students. He taught me to build meaningful relationships and take care of those who take care of you. He gave me my first classroom when I was placed as a student teacher at United West Elementary. And so, Coach, I am truly blessed to have you in my life. Finally, I would be regretful if I failed to mention that it was Peter Pitts from the admissions department who first brought me to Monmouth College. Right over there, Peter Pitts, responsible for thousands of Monmouth College students. He had the tall task of convincing my parents that it was a good idea that we went to school together. Thankfully, he persevered. He took the time to believe in me, believe in Lauren, and believe that we could succeed here. So I am forever grateful for you, Peter. Thank you. To my professors, coaches, mentors, upper and lower classmen, food service employees, admissions department, athletic department members, thank you for changing my life. All these people we met every single day, we really grew and built a relationship with. We haven't been back in 15 years, and we walked into the cafeteria today, and we got a hug from Kim, the head chef. And it's just, he didn't know we were coming either. It was one of those things, just an example that these people we meet, you grow relationships with. All of us grow real relationships with our classmates and the people around us. And these relationships you establish over the 4 years don't go away. They stay there. I like the analogy today about the dome and the tree and the strong roots. All of you are the wind that help us grow roots. And when those roots grow up and become trees, those leaves fall around on all of us. I love that. So the single greatest influence on my life and success in Monmouth is Lauren. She inspired me to be a loving father, a caring husband, and a thoughtful educator. While in college, we learned and grew on each other. We found our first jobs together while sitting in her career dorm room. We made the leap to Colorado and began our life knowing that Monmouth prepared us to take on obstacles. We learned how to relentlessly persevere and become passionate about children. Lauren, I love you. We came to Monmouth together. We left on our adventure together, and it's my belief that we can accomplish anything together. Before I leave, this is so cool, by the way. I'm just so grateful for this opportunity, sincerely humbled. Here's how it feels. We haven't been back in 15 years. Every day we talk about Monmouth. We love it. We talk about the things we did, how amazing it is, and how it prepared us. So it's this little beautiful little present that we can continually think about. Then you come back, and you realize it's better than you remember. So thank you for all of you for taking care of Monmouth, the thing we treasure so much. To the Alumni Board, thank you. Current students, we're honored to represent you. And on behalf of Lauren and I, thank you to Monmouth College. We love representing you through our actions every day. Roll Scots!
And they really bring that same energy when we see them in Colorado for our alumni events. So Lauren, keep the student pipeline coming to Monmouth as well. In short, tonight's Distinguished Service Award recipient gets the job done. That was true of her highly successful career at Caterpillar, and it's been true of her time on the Monmouth College Board of Trustees, which began more than 20 years ago. She's been on the executive committee for 18 of those years, including a term as vice chair. She co-chaired the board's resources committee for the last strategic plan the college implemented, and she's also served on the past 2 presidential search committees. Just earlier today, we celebrated the result of the most recent search, and as I said, our recipient, Nancy Snowden, helped get that job done and done well. As Director of Business Practices at Caterpillar, Nancy established and managed the Ethics and Compliance Program, and a series of her initiatives and other developments soon followed. Prior to that director role, she held another director title at Caterpillar, serving as its primary face to the investor community. I've had the privilege of serving on committees with Nancy and been at many board meetings with her. I can tell you that she is very well respected around the board table. I've learned that she asks good questions, and even though the University of Illinois Law School graduate is not an alumna of Monmouth herself, she has a deep fondness for and commitment to our college. She has been a loyal supporter, and I count her among the thousands hearts devoted to Monmouth. She is an animal lover, an avid golfer, and I wouldn't dare go up against her on the bowling lanes. It's been wonderful to get to know her better through the years, so I'm especially proud to be the one to stand here tonight and welcome Nancy Snowden, this year's recipient of the Monmouth College Distinguished Service Award.
Well, good evening, everyone. I am a little worried about my enthusiasm after the last but I have a great deal of enthusiasm for Monmouth College. As you all know, life is full of coincidences, and there were a number of coincidences that led me to become a part of the Monmouth College Board of Trustees. As Hannah mentioned, about 20 years ago, I became a member. And that started when my phone rang in my office at Caterpillar, and Terry Thorstensen, someone who was a trustee at the board at Monmouth College, called to say, would you consider being on the board of Monmouth College? I said to Terry, I'm a University of Illinois grad. I don't think they're going to want me on the Monmouth College board. And he said, well, here's what we do at Caterpillar. We had a chairman named Lee Morgan. Many of you probably know him because he was the chairman of the Monmouth board for many years. In order to honor him, Caterpillar has routinely sent an employee to be a part of the Monmouth board in kind of in his memory. I thought that was a really nice idea. But there was another coincidence. Lee Morgan was not a graduate of Monmouth College. He was a graduate of the University of Illinois, just as I am. As a matter of fact, the university invited Lee to be a member of their board of trustees, but he said, nope, I'm not going there. I'm going to be on the Monmouth College Board of Trustees because I think I can make a real difference, and I'm sure that he did. Now, as the coincidences continue, another one occurred. As you know, Caterpillar is a big company, and I think we had over 100,000 employees. But Lee Morgan and my dad were in the same service training class. I mean, that was like 20 people. So another coincidence leading me to Monmouth. Now the coincidences continued. The very first time I ever came to Monmouth, I was walking up to Wallace Hall to meet with Dick Beasy, who we were all fortunate enough to see today. And on the sidewalk in chalk was written, Kappas rock. Now, believe it or not, I am a Kappa. Now, you probably aren't all that surprised because none of my fellow trustees ever acted like, wow, that's really shocking. But I think the reason I find this so shocking is at the University of Illinois, where I went, they would pick 25 pledges a year, and we had 35,000 students. So you see, the odds were not particularly that I would be in Kappa Kappa Gamma. I thought it was a shocking coincidence. But one thing I don't think was a shocking coincidence was how lucky I was to see all these coincidences as pointing me toward becoming a member of the Board of Trustees. From the very first day I walked on to the Monmouth campus, I felt welcomed and at home. The love and dedication the board felt and feels for the college is overwhelming. Throughout my tenure, I have always been impressed by the level of support and care the faculty, staff, and board have for all of the students. I am sure that all of you sitting here in the audience cherish the relationships that you have formed here at Monmouth. I know I certainly do cherish the relationships I have formed here. It has been my joy and pleasure to be a part of this wonderful institution. Happily, I am but one of a group of deeply committed individuals Monmouth is fortunate enough to have on their board of trustees. Thank you so much for this honor. Being on the board has truly been my pleasure. Thank you.
If you subscribed to the Monmouth Daily Review Atlas in the 1990s, you would have seen a series of environmental columns written by a Monmouth College student that, among other things, warned readers about global dangers of meat production. Yep, those columns appeared in print here in Warren County, the self-proclaimed prime beef capital of the world. Those columns say at least two things about our Distinguished Alumnus Award recipient. She is fearless and she is passionate. A passion that has become her profession, as she serves as the co-founder and president of Food Tank, a global nonprofit community working towards positive transformation in how food is produced and consumed. Google Danielle, and there she is on screen, pictured at a TED Talk. Not in the audience, she's giving the TED Talk. The text embedded in the picture calls her an expert on sustainable agriculture and food issues. The text below calls her a world-renowned researcher, speaker, and advocate on all issues relating to our food system and agriculture. Just a quick comment on the world-renowned part. Here at the college, we receive her Food Tank newsletter, and we're able to follow her journey, which in the last couple of weeks has taken her to Rwanda for African Food Systems Forum and to New York City for Climate Week, among other places. In all, she's traveled to more than 70 countries and met thousands of farmers, scientists, policymakers, and journalists documenting what is working to help alleviate hunger and poverty while protecting the environment. The Monmouth that she attended in the 1990s might not have had a mission statement that included the phrase, "Live meaningful lives," as it does today, but that's exactly what Danielle's done with her Monmouth education. I am proud to acknowledge that meaningful life by introducing, virtually, Danielle Nuremberg as the recipient of the Distinguished Alumnus Award.
Hi everyone, I'm Danny Nuremberg, class of 95. It is my true honor to win the Distinguished Alumni Award. I'm sorry I can't be with you. I'm in Kigali, Rwanda. I just want to thank you all so much for this honor. It's truly something special to me. I also want to thank Dr. Ira Smolinski. I probably would not have stayed at Monmouth if he hadn't been my advisor, and I loved him dearly and appreciate everything that he has that he did for me. I also want to thank Drs. Stacy and Simon Cordery and Dr. Ken Craver and Dr. Anderson. It was really special for me to be at Monmouth. It was the time of my life in so many ways, and it set me on the career path that I am today, and as president and co-founder of Food Tank, which is a research and advocacy organization devoted to telling stories of hope and success in food and agriculture systems around the globe. Again, I'm sorry I can't be with you all, but I'm truly honored and hope to see many of you soon. Thank you again.
So after she sent that video, she said she forgot a lot of things, so she did send some comments as well, so I will be accepting on her behalf through her comments. President Draves, professors, students, and the Alumni Board, thank you for awarding me the Distinguished Alumni Award. It is incredibly honored to be recognized by the college that taught me to march to my own drummer, as my late mother Joyce Nuremberg liked to say. Monmouth was my home for 4 years, a place where I felt nurtured and supported, and where I learned to be myself. It's a place where I was allowed to make mistakes, and I made a lot of them, because I knew that I had a community to support me. It's a place where I took risks, like writing about livestock for the town newspaper, and where I learned how to be accountable for both successes and failures. Monmouth taught me that I could change the world in my own way. I want to express my deepest gratitude to the faculty who believed in us, challenged us, and pushed us to think critically. Your dedication shaped who I am today, and I also want to thank the friends who supported me through the countless late nights and early mornings. I also want to thank my late parents who were so proud of me, and I'm the first person in my family to go to a four-year college, and I would not have been able to do that without their support. I share this honor with them. I want to give a special thank you to the late Dr. Ira Smolenski, who was my advisor and friend. He was a huge source of encouragement while I was in school and throughout my life. I miss him. I also want to thank the late Dr. David Allison, Dr. Steve Rubin, Dr. Ken Kramer, Dr. Stacy and Simon Cordery. I also want to thank former Monmouth student and friend, Dr. Aaron Malett, and the former editor of the Daily Review Atlas, Barry McNamara. Thank you once again for this incredible honor, and I am proud to be an alum of Monmouth. Please join me again in another round of applause for this year's Distinguished Alumnus of the Year, Ms. Danny Burns. The fifth award we are presenting this evening is not awarded to a Monmouth College graduate, but rather to a member of our faculty who has been a significant impact on our graduates. To present the Hatch Award for Distinguished Teaching, please welcome Dr. Mark Wilhart, Dean of the Faculty and Vice President for Academic Affairs.
You can observe a lot by just watching. The immortal wordsmith Yogi Berra once uttered this, but I first heard it in a danky trailer of a building tucked behind a wrought iron fence in Inverness, Scotland. The college had sent a bunch of us faculty to review a potential partnership with the University of Highlands and Islands, and there I was standing in this ramshackle outbuilding, supposedly looking at an art classroom. The art was pretty bad and the facilities were worse. You can observe a lot by just watching, said Mike Connell, casually at my shoulder, as he stepped around a paint-strewn desk, and me. And as wrong as Yogi Berra might have been in the saying, Mike Connell was absolutely right in the moment. We watched, and what we observed was, well, a lot. Most of us came back from that experience having observed enough to know that UHI was not going to be a good fit for Monmouth College students. What I came back understanding, though, was just how funny, how dedicated to college, and how tuned into student needs Mike Connell was. My roommate for most of that trip, Mike, was a nonstop jukebox of one-liners, skewed remarks, and more than anything else, Yogi Berra quotations. But he was also a keen observer and strategist, thinking about how this desired partnership in Scotland didn't, finally, live up to our standards. He talked about his joy, about what Monmouth was, what Monmouth students could and should achieve, and about how our partners ought to bolster these key qualities, not limit them. At such moments, more than any Yogi Berra misstatement, I could see the reason why generations of students have found lifelong mentorship in Mike. He sees our students, he gets them, and he has built his department time and again to serve their best interests. Arriving from Lafayette College in the fall of 1993, Mike was hired as a professor of economics. But he was really hired to build our business program into a home for great student-centered teaching. He did that, and then he did it many times over the years as faculty came and went. But he did so much more so that teaching, no matter how good his classroom presence is, isn't a classroom activity when it comes to Mike. He dons the plaid jacket, or evidently the red one, to show school spirit at sporting events and on key days for the college. He runs the flag up and down the court and on field still to show how much he is there for the student athletes, the students who cheer him on, and the school which he finds them. He's taught generations of students what love for one's college can do and how it should act, and how it can be embodied every day, in every situation. When Mike was named this year's recipient of the Hatch Award for Excellence in Teaching then, it should have come as no surprise to any of us really. For generations of students, Business 105, usually simply referred to as Connell's class, was a rite of passage, just as his advising became the best kind of teaching, incisive, personal, effective. Whether in the classroom or not, Mike embodies what excellence in teaching undergraduates can be. You can't observe a lot by just watching. For nearly 25 years now, it's been my privilege to watch Mike come. What I've observed is the highest dedication to our students and to the teaching which grounds their full experience here at Monmouth College. Please join me in congratulating Mike on his earning the 2024 Hatch Award for Excellence in Teaching.
And that guy fakes sincerity or what? Thank you. I'm very proud to be here. I have a few things to say tonight. Joy? I'd like to thank all my former students. Lucy Kellogg. Can't talk now, I'm busy. I'd like to thank my former students. Lucy Kellogg Thompson, Mark Dupper, Michael Blasey, Danielle Nurnberg, my son, my daughter, my son-in-law, Marty Steach, Brad Foley, Molly Harrod, Ed Wimp, Dan Kane. They all showed up to see me tonight. I want to thank you for this award. Since it comes after 33 years of being here, it's kind of special to me. I guess Will Hart finally ran out of other names to nominate. I was a first-generation clueless college student perfecting my party skills in Champaign-Urbana. I was very good at it. After a false start, with academic penalty, I learned to play and enjoy the role of fighting Alumni honor student. I stayed for 12 years, earned 4 degrees, and a lot of teaching awards. My friend Gary Martin says I have more degrees than a thermometer. After Illinois, I started teaching at a top 25 liberal arts college in Easton, Pennsylvania, that Mark told you about. And after another false start at not publishing very much and being asked to leave, I learned that my comparative advantage is in the classroom, not in research. And I'm a classroom teacher. The Marquis de Lafayette and I agreed to part ways. I was searching for a new job, and my desire to have my children grow up near their grandparents in Bushnell, Illinois made Monmouth the perfect fit. Meeting Bruce Haywood was a road to Damascus moment for me. It changed my life. During the job interview, I confessed my failure to publish and perish in an environment of higher education. And then Bruce said words that changed my life. Bruce said, "I'm not hiring you to publish papers that no one will read. I'm hiring you to be the best teacher you can be. I expect you to teach economics to Monmouth College students, other Monmouth College faculty, and the citizens of Western Illinois. I will consider you a failure if you publish in academic journals." Those words changed my life. I eagerly promised Bruce that I would be that teacher, and to this day I'm working to fulfill that promise. Along the way, I've authored guest editorials in Peoria Journal-Star, the Chicago Tribune, the Philadelphia Inquirer, and the Wall Street Journal. I use the popular press to spread the gospel of economics and keep my promise to Bruce. While at Monmouth College, I learned to embrace the values of the liberal arts that I didn't learn in Champaign. But that's okay. I became a lifelong learner. Rodney Lemon introduced me to the ideas of Friedrich Hayek and Austrian economics, and it changed my life again. Together, my new colleague Dick Johnston and I taught ourselves about these exciting new ideas. They enriched our lives and created a passion to share those ideas with several generations of Monmouth College students. I believe that whatever success the business and economics program has had in our majors for 30 years stems directly from sharing those ideas with our students and the freedom that Dick Giese gave me to teach whatever I wanted and to follow my heart and help Vicki J. live the dream. Soon after arriving at Monmouth, I was drafted to serve as department chair. I have Kim McMillan to thank for that, which I've done for almost 30 years. My goal as department chair was to retire as the worst teacher in my department. My implementation strategy was to hire such excellent teachers that eventually I would become the weak-hitting right fielder on a team of all-stars. If I fail to fully achieve that goal, it's not for lack of effort on my part. For 30 years, I've taught Fighting Scots the 7 P's to success. Proper prior planning prevents piss-poor performance. And I've also taught them that no one can embarrass you without your permission. Don't let them have that power over you. If you don't believe that line about being embarrassed, come to the football game tomorrow. I'll be there in a plaid jacket and a flag, and a 71-year-old man will be running up and down the sidelines, trying to root the Scots on to victory. My student success and the record of teaching excellence demonstrated my departmental colleagues are my legacy to the rich history of Monmouth College. Again, I offer my most humble and sincere thank you.
Get both of us.
Monmouth College's highest honor, the Hall of Achievement, recognizes alumni who have demonstrated extraordinary leadership, service, or professional achievement. The Whiteman family created the Hall of Achievement in 1992 to inspire present and future students by providing exemplary role models and to honor the outstanding and varied achievements of past graduates. This year, we celebrate over 30 years and many tremendous alumni who have made a great impact on Monmouth, their communities, their fields, and our world. As I noted, the Hall of Achievement recognizes exceptional professional achievement, community involvement, and service to Monmouth. This year's inductee is an outstanding example of accomplishment in all 3 of these areas. He began working at the age of 15 in a construction company founded by his grandfather, working in the field as a carpenter, learning and earning his way to becoming president of Pepper Construction Company at age 32. He also spent several years pursuing business interests in private equity, consulting, software development, and sustainable products before returning to the Pepper Companies in 2015, serving since then as chairman and CEO. Under his leadership, the Pepper Companies have become an industry leader in integrated construction services. Our honoree's leadership has made the Pepper Companies a leading example of a supportive work environment, one that recognizes employees as whole people, honoring and nurturing their growth. And through this commitment, the Pepper Companies have become a valued asset in all the communities in which they work and serve. Our honoree has also rendered extraordinary service and leadership to Monmouth College. Invited to join our Board of Trustees in 1998, he has provided leadership to key committees of the board and important initiatives of the college. He has done all of this with unfailing integrity, wisdom, determination, generosity, and a fierce commitment to serving the students of Monmouth College, those now and those to come. The website of the Pepper Companies lists its core values of integrity, stewardship, diversity, partnership, leadership, and enjoying life. All who know our honoree have seen these qualities in him: his commitment to honesty and doing the right thing, his caring and support of others, his belief that everyone deserves respect and the opportunity to grow, his belief in working together, and his focus on leading by serving. And anyone fortunate enough to have shared a glass of wine and seen the twinkle in his eye as he tells a story, or to have received one of his and his wife Chris's Christmas cards featuring their grandchildren, surely sees he knows how to enjoy life. It is with great pride that I present J. Stanley Pepper, class of 1976, the 2024 inductee into the Monmouth College Hall of Achievement.
Thank you, Hannah, very much. One thing you can be assured of, I enjoy life. That's about all I take out of that introduction if I were you. Tonight has been a great honor. I'll introduce my wife, Chris, who has hardly ever come down to Monmouth. She's made a trip like this. Really good. She's crying, you're crying. Sure, Paul. Okay, so, a number of years ago, we dedicated the Hub Center and the Natatorium, and Fred Wackerly, who was the Wackerly Center, a trustee for a long year, trustee emeritus now, used the phrase Monmouth magic. Many of you have heard it. It is a great describer of everything that's happened tonight. And he's not the only one that uses that term of endearment. Certainly the case for me. Growing up, I was not considered a great student, still am not. But Monmouth taught me how to learn, and I've been on a constant learning experience ever since. My business life, my Monmouth education has given me a wise perspective that has made me better at what I do. Not sure what I do still, but I do it pretty well. I have a great curiosity to understand things and people, and the liberal arts education is critical to my success and also to be able to look and see at things differently. But it also makes, anybody with liberal arts education is a very good trivia player, by the way. You know a lot about a little. That's a place I wanted to start, is liberal arts education. It makes you think of endless possibilities and then narrow the list down to the best ones. It gives you the tools to find the best in people and in situations. On the personal side, I have many friends still here from Monmouth, from the board, and actually from my first year here, with ATOs, with Brian and Grant and Jim, all here. It's amazing to see that. I have a desire to travel the world because of the liberal arts education in Monmouth and the places I've read about. Monmouth has encouraged me to stay connected to friends and family in particular as well. A great college is not just a 4-year experience. I came here in '76. When done right, it should last a lifetime. It certainly did. Certainly did for me. Monmouth magic. It is something surreal. Thanks. That was pretty good for me. I didn't cry that much. It wasn't your fault.
What a nice evening. I don't think I'm going to cry. But, you know, we started the day or the afternoon really talking about the legacies that people leave here. And I mentioned in my inaugural address that there's hundreds and hundreds of examples. Tonight we saw several of them that are still giving to the college in so many ways and having their impact. And so let's just congratulate the award recipients once again. And before I call Hannah up to the podium to close the event, I just want to recognize the development and the college relations staff as well as the alumni board for all they do to make tonight happen and to recognize selecting this group among a very distinguished group that was nominated was not an easy task. And so thank you for the work, thank you for the event and the time to celebrate. And with that, I'll
It's occasions like tonight where we are reminded just how powerful Monmouth College education is and just how big an impact a Fighting Scot can make. We are all extremely proud of the accomplishments of each of our honorees and wish them all continued success. Before we all leave, I want to thank everyone again for joining us this evening. I would encourage you to continue in the celebration tonight and throughout the weekend. The Spirit Shout will be held at 8 p.m. at April Zorn Memorial Stadium and will conclude, as always, with a great fireworks display. We hope to see you at many of tomorrow's events as well, and as a reminder, the game does not begin until 2 p.m. But make sure you join us on campus early as we have an excellent event schedule planned. Many thanks for joining us. Congratulations to all those being honored this weekend, and have a wonderful homecoming. Thank you.